know if I should be embarrassed about this or if it's just like a normal thing that people wouldn't get, but you know the movie Wicked and the play Wicked. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about the name Elphaba. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's a weird name, but then she's a witch. I guess witches just have weird names, right?
Yeah.
Then I was watching a Instagram video today, and they mentioned they're talking about the origins of the story and where it came from, and they mentioned the name of the author, which I've known for years. I've known the guy who wrote Wizard of Oz for years.
You're good friends.
L. Frank Baum.
Right.
Like, yeah. And then it finally fucking hit me. L. Frank Baum.
Alpha.
It's like, wow. That's so stupid. Like, I'm not that so stupid. I'm so stupid that never occurred to me. Oh. I just feel like very dumb that I did not, that never clicked with me. It never made sense.
It would have been funny if you would have said, "That's so stupid." Like, of course he'd name it after himself, the fucking narcissistic bastard.
Welcome to the I Hate Critics 1994 podcast. I'm professional film critic Sean Patrick. Amy's here.
Hiya.
MJ's chips are here.
Hello. Crumple.
Amy, what was our sponsor?
Sorry.
Oh, can I interrupt your snack while we do a podcast, maybe? Or
it's delicious. And we are sponsored by the Pontiac Fiero, the Nell of cars.
Oh, man.
Well, I wasn't going to say the Liam Neeson of cars because he's got a very specific set of skills that I don't fuck with.
That's why he was there to murder Nell.
Yeah, the movie took a weird turn.
I did not expect that. She shouldn't have kidnapped his daughter.
That's true. Oh, knitting needles to the kneecaps.
Released December 25th, 1994, with a 57% Rotten Tomatoes score, a 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb. The budget of this film is $24.5 million, and it made $106.5 million worldwide. And it's directed by Michael Apted, who is a famed documentary director. Have you ever heard of the Up series? Mm-hmm. He directed every one of those up until his death about 4 or 5 years ago. But he started with like 18 Up, and then kept coming back every 10 or 15 years and talking to the same people again, and seeing how they changed and some of them, how different they were over the time. It's one of the greatest film experiments of all time.
Well, and again, whenever I see his name, like we were talking on the last one about how you hear certain directors' names and you usually equate them with good or bad. Mm-hmm. His Apted always seemed to be one of those good in my brain. Yeah. And also a really good friend of Jodie Foster's, because initially she was going to direct this movie. It was going to be her baby. And then she threw it to him because she thought he might have a different kind of concept of it, which I think he did a fantastic job, because Nell is essentially a very pretty movie. I mean, it takes place in North Carolina. It's not hard to find something pretty in North Carolina.
I don't think she could have directed this. I mean, because the performance she's giving, whether you like it or not, whether you're laughing at it or not, and we're Gen X, we laughed at this a lot because we don't have feelings. But we can't adjust to earnestness very well. It's why we have such great chemistry with MJ.
That's right. That's right. That's very true.
It's like we have a hard time with earnestness. This is an incredibly earnest movie, like insanely earnest. Like, it has no idea how weird it is. No, just none. Which I guess is maybe part of its charm.
Yep. And we're like 5-year-olds. We have not grown up, so we giggle at anything. Anything.
So yeah, but the complexity of her performance, the fact that she is talking in this language that has to be made up for this movie, and like she had to learn it and speak it and sort of teach it to everyone else, and everyone else is trying to interpret it. Like it is a masterclass of acting of some sort.
And I think one of my favorite things about, like, again, Jodie Foster, probably one of the most brilliant actors of our time. I know, especially for our generation, we saw her in so many great things. She is ridiculously talented in directing and acting and all of that. But Fuzzy brings up a good point. There are just some facial choices made by Jodie in this movie that are a little off-putting.
I couldn't stand it. I really couldn't stand it, to be honest. It was so... It was unnecessarily sexual-ish.
Masturbatory? Would you say masturbatory?
You know that face Demi Moore's making on the cover of Scarlet Letter? It's that face all the time for some reason. I don't know why. Nell is a woman who lives in the forest with her mom. Her mom dies. She's discovered by a creepy grocery attendant played by Jeremy Davies, who Amy is thirsting over because he hasn't washed his hair in months and doesn't shower. And
what can I say? I like him dirty. Not their faces. Like, wash that face. But I like them dirty. Don't wash that hair. I like it greasy.
She likes to smell them when they get in the room, you know? Really get a
That's
good
how you know
whiff
it's
of them.
love. Look, there's such a thing as scent chemistry.
Oh, wow.
And had the experiment where the whole smell-o-vision actually worked, we could have smelled him.
I felt like it did, honestly. That's how dirty Jeremy Davies is in this movie.
You're just trying too hard.
So she gets discovered, and this doctor, Liam Neeson, was initially brought there just to look at the body of her mom, but then they discover Nell, and he becomes obsessed with her, I guess.
Yeah.
Because this is not his problem. He should just hand this off to somebody and let them take care of it. Let the doctors handle it. Let the other doctors handle this. He's a doctor, but...
Yeah, I couldn't tell what kind of doctor he was.
Because, he stops working. Like, he just gives up everything to move to the woods and be where Nell is so he can watch everything that she does.
Well, in the beginning, too, he's tending to a patient, which makes me think he's an actual medical doctor.
Right.
So I guess, I was confused. Do you just fuck off from your practice and just say, well...
I'm on vacation for the next 6 months. I'm just going to be...
Yeah.
How did he have the money to do that? He must have made a lot, because...
As a small-town, door-to-door doctor.
Yeah.
There's a town of 10 people. And he has to steward that area. And people just... There's lots of people in this... Well, no, there's like 10 people in town. One of them cries all the time, and none of us know why. We'd never established that.
They
whatsoever.
only know why. Only the people in the movie know why.
And they're all, just totally, cool with it.
Yeah.
Everybody's comforting her outside the restaurant.
Well, yeah. I mean, no one did that to me when I lived in Princeton. And I feel like I really deserved it when I lived there. But not one person. I'd be out there bawling, fifth of whiskey. No one cared.
In the Casey's parking lot.
In the Casey's parking lot.
I think you were a little bit more feral Nell than you were this lady on the side of the street.
I don't see the difference between my made-up language and Nell's. Mostly mine just consists of just...
There's really a great deal of, similarity between people having to interpret for drunk Amy
That's true.
and people interpreting for Nell.
That's true. And I tried so hard, It just doesn't work out for me.
What she's trying to say, officer. What? She needs another drink.
And then, yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of Nell. Could you imagine Nell drunk?
Oh my god.
We
Slurring
already
those
can't
words.
understand her.
Fuck you, Tay.
Oh, you're telling the tree to fuck off again now? That seems about right.
Oh, Nell's hooked on meth now.
Oh, well, when you get famous, that's gonna happen. These things are gonna happen.
Yeah, Nell's trajectory on the fame is terrifying. Here's the real story of Nell.
Oh.
it's a grunge video on YouTube.
Like Jeremy. Oh, Nell spoke in class today. This was kind of based on a real story, though. I did not know that. About twins. And twins speak. It's actually a real thing. And again, we don't really find out... Well, Fuzzy caught on pretty early.
Yeah.
That there was
I knew it immediately when I saw the first scene of the two girls. I was like, oh, she's a twin.
She's a twin. And yeah, and it just kind of builds from that. Because the more she talks to herself in the mirror, and you're starting to kind of put two and two together that there's something there. I only knew because I cheated and read about the movie. So...
Poor Liam Neeson's over there having to pretend he doesn't get it.
He doesn't get...
But then again, to be fair to him, he didn't get the flashback we got.
That's true. If he just would have gotten the flashback.
If only he was paying attention. Maybe read the script next time. I don't know.
He's too busy checking out his future wife, Natasha Richardson.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And they're both too busy watching Jodie Foster swim naked.
Wow. Jodie Foster had the most magnificent bush in this movie, though. Like, because you could see it from the side. Like, she's like this beautiful...
Side profile,
I mean,
and you can see the bush, yeah.
Like a big... Like, let your garden grow. I will tell anybody that. That's fine, but, like, wow. There was just a lot.
It was a lot.
It was just a lot.
You shouldn't see it from the side profile, I don't think.
I try not to, but then I barrette mine. So you gotta tamp that shit down. Otherwise, it looks like you've got a full-on package down there. And now, if you want that, that's one thing. I don't. I'm looking to look more like a Barbie. A Nell Barbie with a bush. Are you fine over there? Is it because we're talking about Nell's bush?
I think he's upset about it. I think
you're more upset
I think he's
about it.
feeling my upset, and then he's just barking for me. I think he wanted to help me out.
Maybe that's when you start needing to go like la 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 the whole thing.
MJ, what is your opinion of Nell's bush?
I have no opinion on anybody's.
Plus, he probably wouldn't even seen it had I not yelled out, "Oh my God, look at that bush!" during the movie.
And then I proceeded to put my hands up in front of my face.
I'm a horrible person. Don't watch movies with me. That's all I'm saying.
So he meets Nell. He's gonna try. At first, he's like, "This isn't my problem. I'm gonna, just let's take her to whatever." He goes to find.
Confusing.
Yeah, and then he goes to Natasha Richardson and introduces himself and brings her into this and brings her. She's works at a hospital for mentally people.
Mentally people. Sort of mentally.
Mentally people.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to come and take a look at Nell, and she meets her, and she's like, "I'll hold her, you take her blood."
Yeah. Yeah.
Do it! Do it! And then I guess that suddenly radicalizes him to the side of Nell, I guess, because he becomes like a condescending prick for the rest of the movie.
It did feel weird. Like, yeah. And he was... What was the word that you used that I thought was so perfect was...
Smug?
Smug. Yeah, what was he smug for this time? Like, just weirdly angry at odd times. We're like, wait, just...
He just shows up like in a scene where like they go to talk to her boss about what to do about Nell and what he thinks they should do, because he's like an expert in the field, and he's like, "Well, we should probably bring her to the hospital and study her and try and figure out how to help her." And he's just immediately hostile to this. "Why would you take her out of her environment? What do you mean? Why?" And like before the guy has even said anything, he's pissed off.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, just a scene ago, he was like, "This isn't my problem. Why should I have to take care of her?" Like, make up your mind, bro. Which side are you on, man? So then, yeah, he becomes like Nell's hostile protector.
I feel like they needed more to establish a connection between the two of them before he starts to do that. Like, have a moment. Just some sort of moment. There was no moment, so it was like, okay, you're just... Okay.
Out of context, this guy's behavior is just bizarre. He just flies off onto these fucking tangents.
Yeah.
That are just so, like... He's just constantly revealing himself to be a weirdo. Well, just over and over again.
Oh, and Fuzzy, like you had mentioned, too, it was like... I get that, why, again, we're finding this person that has not... hung out with other people, that has clearly her own language, is a little weird, I'd be keeping my distance watching. But it was so many of these early shots of Neeson watching her through binoculars, watching her in her window, like...
Just
I don't
walking
think they
into her
should have
house.
framed it like that.
Yeah.
I think it could have been done better.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole movie, I didn't really. They would try to make it look, or it seemed like the director kind of wanted it to seem creepy.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it as creepy. I saw it as he is watching. It's like she's a wild animal. She's a human being,
right. But
it's like she's a wild animal because she can't hardly communicate with anybody. She has her own language. Like, she's made that up. She is not.
Yeah, she and her twin came up with their own type of language to speak to each other. And her grandmother, who was caring for her and her sister died when she was like 6. the grandmother had a stroke.
Yeah.
And so she spoke with kind of a broken way of speaking, and I guess just maybe she adapted to Nell or Nell adapted to her. Nell can read. She can take care of herself. She makes her own food. She cuts her own wood. And I'm like, well, just fucking leave then. She's fine.
That's it.
Her mom died, or grandma, or whatever the fuck it was. It was an old lady. Like that lady's dead. So she's fine. Just leave her alone. Go away. And that basically, isn't that what it comes down to at the end? I mean, basically, when we get to the big courtroom scene, doesn't she just say, "I've got no more problems than you guys"?
Well, yeah.
I'm fine. I was a little scared at first because the person I care for died and I was alone. But maybe just leave me alone. Maybe just let me go back to my place.
Well, I think the whole thing of it too is like from moment one, as she is found, as they realize, okay, the old lady is dead, then we stumble upon this book, the Word of the Lord, or whatever it is.
The law. Sorry. I'm Gen X. I'm sorry.
You're going to hell. Neeson's reading through it, opens it up, and immediately is given Nell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
There's like a note in there that says,
that's it. It's like, well,
"She's your problem now, fucker."
God led you to her, and good luck. This is gonna be a long period of time for you. Like, then we start off so pissed off, but then he jumps in like he can't wait to.
He just keeps coming back. Like he's like telling his sheriff buddy, like, "Hey, this isn't my problem." And his buddy's like making fun of him, like, "Oh no, but God chose you. This is your path, buddy."
I mean, he did.
And he's like, "It's not my problem." Then he just keeps coming back every single day to watch her more.
Yeah.
It's
like
so
a
fucking
weird.
creep.
It's so weird.
So they talk to the doctor. The doctor wants to bring her in. He says no. The doctor gives him like 3 months to take a look at her and see how she's doing. And if you can't communicate with her to know how she's doing in 3 months, then you gotta give her up. By the way, she owns the entire fucking forest.
Yeah.
She's a multi-millionaire now.
She has no idea.
No clue.
And probably wouldn't, well, to this day, does not care. I mean...
So
no.
He's just watching her, and then one day he just walks into her house. Just walks in. Like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm just going to sit here and watch you. Why don't you just talk, and I'll just sit here and watch you."
Fuzzy used to do that at my house all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And then wouldn't leave, so it's like, okay, I guess this is us now.
And then they were just sitting there in a corner taking notes.
Observing the wild Amy, yes, of course.
I myself had a
Third
J and
bottle
a
of wine.
Oh, that was on a bad night. It was hard if it was 3 bottles. Because...
Toon Blast.
Wait, no, I was high from medication
you were high
for
from
a Toon
medication.
Blast. God, y'all have these stories about me, but do you know me? Do you know me?
Who's the real Amy?
Who is the real Amy? Don't you wonder? Don't you ever wonder?
Tell us about your Te in the wind.
My tree in the wind. Well, it has.
Is it pine? Is it maple? Is it oak?
Oh,
Amy's not
Brazilian mahogany that I have stapled Facebook posts to. And you're not supposed to do that to Brazilian mahogany. How I even transplanted a Brazilian mahogany tree here in the first place is beyond me. I'm decimating rainforests as we speak. But everybody knew that about me. That's what they signed up for.
Amy kills rare indigenous animals for her clothes.
It's true. I mean, don't get pissy. Don't write in. There's nothing we can do about it. It's already done. It's already done.
Nell's got a lot of, nice dresses. A couple of them.
Yeah. They look great.
Like, Grandma took care of her.
I mean...
And she didn't, she knew somebody. She had people coming to the house. The grocery guy delivers stuff, but then there's just, an honor system where they just leave money in this little tiny purse out front, and then he leaves the groceries and leaves.
That blows my mind, because I don't trust anybody. So, but here's the thing. So, obviously this movie takes place in 1994, clearly.
Right.
93, 94.
Yeah, it's a modern movie.
So when they go back and they start to realize that Nell had a twin, and they open up the cupboards, and we have like these old-timey 1903 gowns that these kids are wearing. Like, what? Did they time
They're
travel?
made of gingham.
Yeah, like they have like burlap like what? What? Why were they so old? You know why?
Because you don't need to dress to impress people when you live in the forest.
I guess. I'm just saying it's weird. It's weird.
So the grandmother at the very least, or mother, I can't tell if it's her mom or her grandma. She
It's
looked
her
very
mom.
old. Really?
Yeah, because she was the one who had her.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because she was raped and then she went into the forest to have her baby. Because yeah, because she taught her that she could never trust men.
Yes, because they'll stab you in the stomach.
They'll skew you in the
Belly?
something like that. Yeah. But I couldn't understand. Was it
Until Liam Neeson made that hand gesture over his dick. Then you knew what he meant.
Well, see, I that's why I said she got out the knife, so I'm like, skewer. What's it? A dick? Is that where you? In the belly? Because that's not where that goes.
Yeah. You wouldn't be here if that's where it goes.
I'm just saying. Something's not right here. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, so that's what happened. Yeah, so I guess that was where I kind of like there were certain things that I wasn't putting two and two together. That was one of them, I think, was that one. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah, but like Nell, like she can take care of herself. She's fine. Leave her alone.
Nell would be just fine.
But then, of course, so now for some reason, Miranda Richardson, who was there, invited by Liam Neeson to be there. Like, he asked her to come do this. Then when she shows up, he's all pissed off that she's there. Like, she shows up, so he goes into the forest after talking to that doctor, and he's all pissed off, and he's now Nell's protector out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He sets up a little fucking tent in the forest, and he's gonna watch Nell 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, essentially just giving up his entire life in town, you know, giving up his practice.
What practice? I think he got his doctor certificate and then just said, you know what, if I feel like being a doctor today, I might. I might not. I'm just saying.
So he moves out to the forest in this tent, and then Miranda Richardson shows up with a houseboat and a whole bunch of equipment, and he just goes walking through it and goes, "What's this for? What do you do with this?" And he's opening her cabinets. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, it's one thing you're like doing that to Nell.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't know what the fuck you're doing. This is an actual person who can perceive that you're invading their space and touching things that aren't yours.
Get out.
Like,
I don't remember even inviting you in, actually. Get out.
So he like sneaks into Nell's house with like a tape recorder so he can tape the way she speaks because he's trying to figure out how to communicate with her. She puts up this big giant fucking security camera in Nell's house that Nell just doesn't notice. This thing's got like, looks like it is a fucking mall.
Poor Nell.
Hooked to a bank of like 6 screens so she can watch each room.
What the fuck, dude?
Like she's running an Ocean's 11 op. It's the great Nell heist.
The great Nell heist.
But then they start spending time together, and of course this is the romantic relationship of the movie. Because if it was just Liam Neeson and we had no Miranda Richardson, how much creepier is this movie?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's that.
Can you imagine him watching her swim naked by himself? You're like she is a plot convenience, Miranda Richards. She is there to try and make him seem less creepy in this scenario.
You can think somebody's beautiful and not want to have sex with them. How many times does he have to say it, you guys?
He literally says that in the movie. And I was reminded of that scene in Transformers where the guy, it's one of the Transformers sequel, and this guy is dating Mark Wahlberg's 16-year-old daughter. And Michael Bay has a scene where the kid pulls out a license that says it's okay for him to date teenagers. Like, no, I've got this. It's okay. I'm allowed to date people who are under the age of 18.
No.
What? That does not exist.
There's no such thing as that.
It does not exist.
No, absolutely not.
It's so disturbing.
But they are in Texas, so maybe it does. I'm just saying.
Texas does make up their own rules. Thanks, Texas. Go fuck yourself, Texas.
But yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Like, him just trying to justify his own creepiness. Because she's like, Miranda Richardson literally says, we shouldn't be looking at this. And he goes, yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Why not?
I think you're beautiful too, but I
kind of do want to fuck
kinda
you.
do wanna fuck you.
Yeah, that's not what I meant. It's weird. These are weird scenes.
Yeah.
And the movie doesn't understand that this is a weird way for people to act.
Well, I have to wonder, okay, because again, this film was not an automatic hit. It wasn't really a hit at all. I mean, Jodie ended up getting a bunch of awards for it because she was. I mean, she's a great actress. There's nothing,
It made $106 million on a $24 million budget.
Yeah, but that was like, isn't that just overall though?
Yeah, I mean, from the time it started to...
Julie turned on ESPN.
I'm sorry, are we bothering you? Should we just turn on ESPN for no reason? What are you doing, bro? He's like, I just gotta check my stats real quick.
SportsCenter's on, you know?
Bro. See, we forgot to mention Chewie is blind, so...
That's $11.99 a month, dude. Yeah. You got any money?
Well, he starts his job tomorrow.
Oh.
It's okay.
His big job in the
His big job. Oh my God! God. You had to frame it like that, didn't you? You had to. His big job in the sky. That's so horrible. Why are you so awful? I'm not gonna cry during the podcast. It's not gonna happen.
Did you cry during Nell?
A little bit. Not like majorly.
Not like Dumb and Dumber crying.
Oh, that's different. I was really affected. No, that was in the beginning of the movie. That hit me. No, it was her remembering her little sister. I think that there was just that kind of moment that just kind of hit a little bit. Well, especially like...
Yeah, I mean, again, we should point out that as much we're laughing at this a lot, and rightfully so, but the acting here is, I mean, other than whatever the hell Liam Neeson's doing, Jodie Foster is really good in this.
Yeah.
I just think the script is very, very weird. The story choices are very, very weird.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But you can't have these things. You can't have a movie if you do this the way it's supposed to be done, where we just leave it the fuck alone.
Like, I mean, and this goes for anybody. Like, it reminds me of David Cross on Mr. Show. Get off my land! And then he starts his own. Well, I mean, Peter Griffin did it on Family Guy, too. You start your own...
Pitoria.
Yeah, because you're... And a friendly robot, that counts your money. Like, there's those moments... Like, if people want to live that life, if they don't want to be part of... Like, let them.
Yeah.
They're not fucking bothering you. She could have lived the rest of her life just fine.
Yeah.
And but it's always us assholes who got a medal and shit like that. And I hate it.
Did you know, by the way, that there is an entire movement in this country of people who declare themselves not subject to the law?
Well, those people are just dumb.
You can like literally call yourself a sovereign citizen. Like I'm sovereign.
I'm a
You get pulled over by a cop. And I'm sorry, I'm sovereign.
And the cop's like,
So, Trump supporters.
yeah. Well, it's like, but you'd think, but then it's like, but wouldn't you want to be part of this great country that you love so much that they took back? You know, like, I mean,
They're not going to be a part of it until he's president again.
Oh, well, I did see two flags yesterday, side by side, that said, "We got America back."
Oh.
And I'm like, you got us back for what? Like, what did we do to you? I don't understand your poster.
We're dragging America back to the 1800s.
By the hair, America's a woman. Are you okay? We'll get you back.
Just the story choices are just so, like watching her swim. Like when she goes, because she's Nell, she's a naturalist. She's chosen the naturalist way of living.
Classic Nell.
She swims naked in the pond at night. She's afraid of the daytime.
Her bush is a flotation device. is why no one can listen to our podcast.
That would not be a valid floating device. It
could.
holds water.
I mean, yeah, but look at it though. Like she pulled a string and it just blew
weigh
up.
her down more than it would bring her up.
It could be fluffy.
Then it would soak in more water. It would just make it heavier.
Because the oily is porous.
Okay.
Pores.
All right.
That would make
All
the
right.
hairs oily. Which oil and water fight. Look, you're both wrong.
How did I guess Grandma must have handled that whole situation when she was younger, but she's obviously not using any products, you would think.
And she says "ah" a lot, which makes me like right to people's faces. Like, you're a close talker. No, and I'm not sure if you used a toothbrush ever.
She might be. Yeah, there's a lot of little details like that they don't really go into.
Right.
Like just how much did Grandma teach cleanliness, and she didn't teach sex at all because they have to teach Nell about sex.
The whole book, yes, that was one of my favorite parts. Was about the
Jay
sex
and
book.
Paul make love.
Oh. Well, and then you got
Jerry
like,
and Paula are Liam Neeson and
yeah,
Richardson.
and Paula is like, "Yep, that's me and Jerry," pointing to like the couple in the book. It's like, don't do that. Well, then Nell just kind of assumes that these are her parents, and like treats them like they're her parents, which leads up to the funniest fucking moment in the movie.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that was
Bring
funny.
everybody into your joke.
Well, they're fighting on the boat.
Yeah.
Apparently Fuzzy's not telling the story. I am. Come on, dude. They're fighting on the boat.
Yeah, they're fighting. Okay, so they're fighting on the boat, and she comes in, and she's very upset that they are fighting, and then she wants them to talk to each other, so she brings them both over and she presses their heads together, and she's Jay and Pa talk or whatever she said, and just
Speak.
pushes speak. Oh yeah, speak.
Right.
And puts their heads together, and then Paula says, what did she say?
Mom and Dad are fighting.
Yes. Yes. And for some reason that was really funny to us.
No, I think it was Mommy Loves Daddy or something.
Mommy
Yeah,
Loves
that's
Daddy.
it. That's it. Dude, this is really awkward.
Just a lot of placating, a lot of patronizing, a lot of smugness. Like, these are the character traits of our wonderful characters in this movie.
Well, I give Nell time. If she wants to, she could be taught by a teacher. She could, learn how to speak well. Speak okay, or
She could learn to speak to Jay and Pao.
she could. But if she wants to,
She's a grown adult millionaire living in the forest. Leave her alone.
well, yeah. But if she doesn't know how, she has all that money, like, dude, I get the fuck out of the forest so fast.
Dude, I would totally get her to sign something really. Like, this is called Powatawa. The Lao say Powatawa.
Oh my god.
Sean, Powatawa.
Oh my god. You need staff today, don't you? Oh my god. But yeah, I mean that's true. That's we do have to report you now that you'd say that though, unfortunately, because that's not good. That's not good.
Nell is not a protected class. We can make fun of Nell as much as we
That's so
want.
true. That's true. Oh my god.
Because it's not like anybody like Nell would ever listen to this podcast. They don't have any technology.
No, but all right. That's fair. Between them and the Amish, you guys are fair game.
Yeah, it's not like you can get offended.
Fuck you, Amish. Hang on, I gotta go turn a light on. Am I just a horrible
You're like Liam Neeson in this movie.
I'm gonna get canceled for hating on the Amish. The Amish don't care. They don't like me anyway. Not that I
That guy
know
was
of.
really mean to Nell on that podcast. I'm gonna tell her about it.
I'm gonna write her a strongly worded letter.
Nell, podcast. Podcast. No, they were mean to you on the
Oh, never mind, Nell.
the complex work that Jodie Foster is doing though is incredibly impressive. Miranda Richardson's quite good. Natasha, whatever.
Yes. Don't say whatever. She's dead.
She's quite good. She seems to be trying to be as normal as possible, except when she switches places with Liam Neeson for a scene where she's the one who's super offended.
She's the smug.
And he's the one that's wrong. I don't know. That's just one scene where she's like becomes Nell's defender, and he's the one who's like the dickhead.
Well, he plays a dickhead in this movie quite well. I almost saw little Neeson in this movie too.
Oh my!
Yeah.
In another awkward scene.
Yeah, and then Nell kind of apparently was that supposed to help her feel comfortable? Like I don't. Or with
she
men.
sees men, because she sees men as like what did they call it? What was her word for?
It was something evil.
Evildoer.
Yeah, evildoers.
Yeah, evildoer.
Yep.
And so this was trying to make her more comfortable, I guess, with Jerry.
Okay.
Although, how comfortable does she need to be with Jerry? Couldn't he just wear some trunks?
I mean, that to me, I don't think he needed.
That was a really weird scene to add in. It was not necessary at all.
No.
But but then there's a scene not that long later where Miranda Richardson goes out to where they had been swimming naked, and she's wearing a robe, and so thematically this whole naked thing is like being vulnerable and revealing yourself to another person and being vulnerable in front of them. So you assume she's gonna do the naked swim thing. Not that I'm perfect on it, but I thought that's gonna be the narrative payoff to this to make to just sort of give some sort of justification to that scene. That just doesn't happen.
No.
Yeah.
she just throws herself in the river for no good reason, and then the scene's over.
I think that's
Which, by the way, scene transitions in this movie
were weird.
Just train wrecking one for another. One just ends on Liam Neeson sighing.
Well, no, that was Natasha. Yeah. It's like, okay, all right, Miss Richardson, you seem kind of bored. Let's move on. That was it. That was it. That was so weird.
That's the culmination of this scene. Is
it's true.
What was she thinking? This giant Irish man just pushing his way into her house constantly, just inviting himself over. Pushing her way into her workplace to get her to come out here, and then totally being a dick to her when she does come out there.
Right.
Well, I think they were fine at the beginning, but then after she tried to take Nell away, then he got weird.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a justification for that one. There wasn't a justification for why he was so close to Nell so quickly. But there was a justification for why he was mad at her.
I think that's true.
Now, that said, you kept going on about how you felt this was okay that they were observing her like this. I just felt like it was too weird for me.
I don't think she noticed that she wouldn't have thought it was weird.
No.
Because she doesn't know what anything is. And honestly, it's a concept that would fascinate me. I would want to study a person like that because that's crazy. That's fascinating.
And be their friend, but ultimately form a bond that is
to try to
safe.
help them.
Yeah.
And because humans are social creatures,
mm-hmm.
and she shouldn't have to be alone in the woods forever. She should have somebody that understands her.
I think that's
and there's
fair.
not really another way. There wasn't really another way to get close to her.
Yeah.
You would have to invade her space to get close to her. You can't just knock on her door and say, "Hey, can I come in?" Because she can't answer you.
Yeah.
She's not gonna say, "Yeah, here, let's have some tea."
She just throws oatmeal at you. That could mean come in or get out. We don't know. You know.
Exactly. You kind of have to force your way in,
ceremonial oatmeal.
And then once you learn how she is, her language, then.
That would be hilarious. If there was a plot point in this movie where everybody came into her house, she had to put oatmeal on their face.
Oh,
should have bowl by the door.
You're allowed in.
I like the more angry throw it at you, because you'd think I should probably leave, but she's like, "Why'd you go?"
Where do you want to go?
I was like, where are you going? Where are you going?
I threw
just
oatmeal at
greeted
you. Yeah.
Jeez. What are you so offended about? Why doesn't anybody ever stay? I don't understand.
Exactly. I keep throwing the oatmeal and nobody stays. I don't understand.
Oh, it's all based on the one time that her grandmother or mother, she threw oatmeal at her and she stayed.
Yeah.
Or it's something her mother taught her. She's like, oh, just throw oatmeal at them. She didn't want anybody in her house. So she was like, yeah, just throw oatmeal at them. They love it. They'll stay. If they love you, they'll stay.
The normies love when you throw oatmeal at them.
Just imagine if, like, her mom had, like, greeted everybody at the door with a shotgun.
Right? I mean, it's
They're
all
lucky
perception.
Nell had no weapons. They're just lucky.
She does have a knife. Like, she's carving out a candle in the beginning.
Yeah, and you were like, get the fuck out of there.
Right? If you don't know how she's going to react, the last thing you want to do is, like, be around, like, Fuzzy even said before that, she has a goddamn axe. She's cutting up wood. Maybe don't creep her out, you know? Maybe don't go near her at that point.
Yeah.
She's an axe-throwing champion.
She goes to those bar tournaments where they have... Because it's one thing she understands, but then she just, like, throws oatmeal at people and then leaves.
So we got to, like, the second act of the movie, and you started, like, positing various ways this movie could end. Where, like, they take Nell into civilization, and she becomes... They make her the town mascot, and they win the softball tournament.
I also had them, like, her reuniting the town, and then they win the big bake-off, which
Bake-Off, yeah.
I think would be a little bit better of a movie.
And I think Amy wrote the sequel.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, she comes back into town.
Nell's big bake-off.
Makes the best hot dish. I don't
Yes, makes the best hot dish.
Nell goes on to defeat Air Bud
Oh my god.
and Harry and the Hendersons in basketball.
Oh. Nell and the Half-Blood Prince. She has her own Harry Potter. Oh, Nell. You're always getting up to hijinks.
We apologize to the dignity of Sir Michael Apted.
Oh, that's true. You know,
I'm sure has never heard of the Air Bud sequels.
well, he's dead now, so he's not going to go looking it up, so... no, but again, like, I mean, overall, had I watched this, I think, back in the day, I think I would have remembered it as a good movie. You know what I mean? Like, watching it now, with time, and then my brain being so skewed by comedy over the years, and how I can't take anything seriously because I'm a big child, I think I would have liked it back then. I felt far more mature when I was 18 than I do now. So, and, you know, I'm not laughing at her giant bush. I wouldn't do that back then. I definitely do it now.
I have a different take on that because we've always been Gen X. We've always been, you know, that generation that cannot do
big babies.
Earnest, honest emotion, and that's why this movie blows my mind that it even exists. Mm-hmm. The fact that there was an audience for this movie under the age of 50 at that time, there couldn't have been. There couldn't have been because there's none of us who could have watched this movie and not just laughed our asses off.
Well,
at the genuine, earnest emotion on display.
Just same year, or like, I mean, imagine us watching Dumb and Dumber and then Nell. You know what I mean? Like, consider that. That's us. That's Generation X. Like, we don't fucking know.
Disclosure: Dumb and Dumber, Nell. And Somewhere Remains of the Day is still playing.
Still playing in my room right now at the old house that no one lives in. Spit. Yeah. So.
It moved to that big TV because yours went away.
It tripped and fell.
His dad's on face down again, you guys. Somebody go get him back up. Remains of the Day. That movie's gonna be on until I die. Oh my god, that's it. At my funeral, play Remains of the Day.
Just the final scene.
No, just the dad scene where he just falls over in the garden.
It's gonna loop in the background, just on
it.
a screen somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And then play some sort of Weird Al song in the background. Just make the juxtaposition of... And everybody like, God, this is why we didn't want to come to this fucking funeral. Because no one knows what to expect. Except for Fuzzy, who's over there, like, laughing so hard.
I have to be the one to plan it. Because it has to be the weirdest fucking thing everybody has ever been to.
You hand out a baguette to every person that shows up. Don't forget your baguette.
Eat this for Amy. She couldn't
eat these.
You have to stand next to the open casket and just make fart noises every time somebody comes up to kneel down.
Aw. I think Tammy would be sad that it's not her job to do that. There will be no tears, but there'll be plenty of farting. Plenty.
I think that should be her job.
I think that will be. You know,
Yeah.
you get to assign it because it's going to be your job. You poor thing.
When they close the casket, it just starts playing the dogs that do Jingle Bells.
Oh, I was going to say yakety sax, but that's fine too.
That's for when they wheel you out.
Oh, just like, roll me around like it's like
carrying you on
have
their
somebody
shoulders.
chase after Fuzzy who's pushing the casket.
It's a guy with a sax and a lady in her underwear.
Best funeral ever. My God! And instead of throwing flowers down into the ground with me, just crunched up taco shells. Just and you have to hand them out. You're just like your taco shells. Your taco shells. So he just brings beef and just throws beef on me. Just make tacos in my hole. That's you know what, and that's what it's gonna say on my. It says make tacos in my hole. 1977 to. That's all I want. So I don't think I'm asking too much.
Amy's gravestone says, "Make tacos great again."
Get tacos back. What'd they do to you?
Oh my god.
So, good to know I'm gonna die. I don't want to. Not today.
No, but you're gonna love your funeral when it does happen.
You know what? Something tells me I am. I'm pretty excited about that.
Just your ghost's just gonna be wandering around like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I swear to God, if it doesn't go that way, you're all getting haunted. I'm gonna like go into your room, sneak into your room at night, and just put on Remains of the Day, and then you wake up and it's always gonna be that one scene. You're like, fuck!
And friends are gonna come over to the house just like, what is that movie? Remains of the Day. She won't stop putting it on.
If we just would have handed out baguettes at her funeral, none of this would have happened.
I forgot the song.
You know what's great now, MJ, is that one day Amy's gonna be gone, and we're gonna be just watching TV one day, and the Remains of Day comes on, and we're gonna be sad.
Aww.
We now have this poignant association.
Well, will you be sad because it's so long and you have to watch it again? Or will you be sad because it's still on in my room? And I've been dead for 10 years. That's the question. Yakety Sax. That's the name of the song. Don't forget that.
So what happened to Nell after the movie?
Well,
Do you have a theory?
she got on a reality show. The money went to her head. And then she's dating Corey Feldman now.
Oh.
You're welcome, Corey.
MJ, do you have a Nell sequel?
She meets Tarzan.
Okay, that should have happened a long time ago.
They'd get along so well.
Oh my God.
I feel like it would be great. And then they raise little Tarzan babies in her woods.
I love that. Or you make a social, like a love app for people like Nell. So it's just Nell and Tarzan on there. I mean, they're going to meet eventually, right?
Yeah. Just keep swiping on trees.
Tree in the wind.
A man? What? In my woods?
She learns how to screenshot just so she can send it to Jay.
Jay and Pow.
Jay, oh, Pow is dead.
Oh.
God bless it. Well, I would do something really cool for Natasha, though. I'd like to. If I had to make a sequel, I'd do something really cool because I fucking loved her. So she's, again, they got married the year this came out, and she was pregnant. They had their first child. So
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, the Neeson boys who look just like their dad, by the way.
Really? That's nice.
Yeah,
Handsome dude.
handsome dude.
I bet they're tall, too.
Yep.
And vaguely Irish.
And vaguely Irish, just like his character in this movie.
Yes, Liam Neeson, North Carolina doctor.
It just, we're not buying it, Liam. We're not.
Was he
buying
doing
it?
it? What was he not doing it?
I still couldn't figure it out. Like at first, because I heard he said Janet, Like the way that he overpronounced his T in the beginning when he was talking to somebody, and then I'm like, oh, he's doing the Irish accent, and then later on it's like maybe he's not.
He's trying not to. I believe.
He's trying not to.
He's fighting it.
But like, there's no way we're gonna buy you as a Southern doctor.
Right.
I mean, no matter what you do.
Exactly.
Natasha then is of course just drowning him because she's
killing the North Carolina.
She's English, right?
Yeah,
she's
like
just
British royalty, that woman, and yeah, killing it.
Not having
Absolutely
any
killing
issue
it.
with accents at all.
Nope.
It's just flawless.
She's just doing dances around him, like, hey, I think you're hot, but you are not doing this right, dude.
Meanwhile, we can't tell if he's talking in his normal voice or not.
At all. Like, at all. Like, I couldn't tell if he was just tired or if he was Irish. I couldn't tell. He could be both.
At one point, he just starts dancing, because Nell was dancing, so he just started dancing like Nell, and it was...
He was telling that story about when he went to see that show, the concert thing, and then she was, really excited about that.
He just totally trauma dumps on her, just completely.
Yeah.
Like, the first time they fucking met, he just goes into this fucking monologue about his life and this traumatic thing that happened to him and this friend he had, and it's like...
We get it, dude.
She doesn't know what you're saying,
She doesn't
bro.
understand
She has
you.
no idea.
And not only that, but, maybe not everything's about you, dude. You know?
This is her house. This is her little weird life.
But he's the main character.
All right, Jay, we get it. He's a Capricorn, I can tell.
You can tell.
You know. Tell me another story
The character
about
or
you again.
Liam Neeson? Do you think
a really good
as an actor,
They are pretty.
as an actor, if you get assigned a role and you're told you're a Capricorn, do you have to learn how to act like a Capricorn?
I'll just send you people to study. I know so many of them. Trust me.
I just didn't know if that was a requirement of that.
If more people did astrology, character studies, you'd be surprised. You really would. Because there's always at least one shared trait of that. And with Capricorns, it's usually about themselves. That's it. That's just how it is. Straight up. With Pisces, it's usually just alcohol. Judy Garland. Liza Minnelli. Wait, is Judy Garland a Pisces? Liza Minnelli. And me. Here we are. That's true.
The stars made me an alcoholic, not alcohol, not my inability to control myself.
Oh, God. See, people like you don't get it. This is what I'm saying. You don't understand. And if you don't understand, you don't understand. That's fine.
So you said that Jodie Foster said this is her favorite role?
That's what she said. Yeah, she said, out of all of the roles she's ever done, this was her favorite. And you know what? I could kind of see why. Imagine the kind of, I don't know, to be given the freedom to kind of make your own language, I think would be exciting. To have actors, I think, kind of respond. If you look at it, you would really think these actors really wouldn't know what her motivation is if they're supposed to not know why Nell is the way that she is. And then watching her tear up and watching her kind of live in this world that she's kind of created, I think that's amazing. So I think, as an actor, I'd love to have that. I'd love to have that kind of
I think any actor
freedom.
would love to do this because instead of it being bullshit with you just coming up with shit to do, people coming up with actorly business to do, you just get to invent nothing but actorly business.
Yeah. and really go inside and find that creative thing that just lets you become and exist. So, to me, I would guess that this was a very fun movie to make, even though it's not fun subject matter. But I think as an actor, this would be a lot of fun, don't you think? Wouldn't you want to take something like that on?
I can see it. It is, if she... the lines look hard, though. The lines sound hard.
Yeah.
There was actually a play like that in our collection of short plays.
This is based on a play, so
yeah.
The one that we did was called Universal Language, and it was Perrin played the one of them, the gibberish
Oh,
language
okay.
guy.
Gotcha.
And he was teaching the universal language to everybody, and or to this one person that had come in, and it was this they called it Unamunda.
Oh, okay.
And it was a lot of lines, and it was insane, the amount of things that they had to learn.
It's like Simlish.
It was,
Yeah.
and they chose the perfect person to pair him. Macy, she plays a lot of Sims and really likes Sims, so she just got it immediately, and she had the energy behind it. It was fantastic.
Love that. Now, see, that would be fun to watch.
It was a very fun play to watch. Yeah.
You almost said something right there.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people liked it. Some people thought it was one of the more slower of the plays that we did. I thought it was great.
Look, fuck off to anyone who says that there's something slow with the Black Box Theater. Fuck that.
It was actually my mom.
Oh, was it? Sorry, Jen, but you're wrong.
She won't listen to this. I don't think. But
She won't. Not the way we talk on here. There's no way.
But yeah, she was like she wasn't the biggest fan of that one just because it was a little bit slower. But yeah.
Do you think we needed the skinny dipping scenes? Were those necessary nude scenes?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Asked in 1995 about her skinny dipping scene, Jodie Foster said, "Stripping in front of 30 or 40 people in the crew was one of the toughest things I ever had to do. I imagined it was just me and the camera, and as soon as the scenes were over, I raced to cover myself up again. Yet these scenes are not designed for the audience's prurient delectation. They're meant to be emblematic of Nell's freedom. 10 or 15 years ago, the idea of showing this much of my chest made me so insane that I could not possibly do it. But Nell wasn't looking at somebody and taking a shirt off, which is really uncomfortable."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that wouldn't affect her. She's, much
She has no
more of
idea.
a naturalist,
Yeah.
right?
Well, we have shame.
We have shame. Yeah,
We have churches who engendered shame within us.
Yes. And family members.
Which, some of that I'm happy for. Some of that is good.
Yes.
I'm glad many of us do have shame.
I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. I'm glad some of us have shame. And then you just watch all the people walking by you going,
It's a smug shirt.
Yeah,
It's a very smug shirt.
some of us have shame. Fuck you, dude.
I'm glad some of us have shame.
Insults every person that sees it.
Well, if it insults a Trumper, I'm fine with that.
Yes.
Some of us have some shame. That's fine. God bless. Anything I can do to just knife that idea into people's heads. Just drive that home.
Christina Applegate was offered the role of Paula.
What? She would have been, 23?
She had to turn it down because of Married with Children.
Oh, well, that's sad. But yeah, I'm sorry. I
Could you have taken that seriously, though?
There's
That was
no
Christina
way.
Applegate. I mean, she
No.
was very young, and the character was just not anything she's played remotely before.
No.
You need a character with some gravity to pull that off, and nothing against her, but at that time she's just not demonstrated it as an actress.
Yes.
Not that she couldn't, and I'm sure she would need an opportunity to show that, but I mean, she's demonstrated throughout her career she's more of a comedian.
You're right, and she has the ability. I mean, she's a great actor. She has the ability to do drama. Having said that, her name is more synonymous with comedy. It just straight up and for her, and no, Natasha was the right choice.
Now, Christina Applegate stars in this movie in the alternate universe where Pauly Shore plays Nell.
Now there, you guys, if we had to watch that movie.
Pauly Shore as a boy who lived in the forest his entire life and came up with his own language.
But he did! He already did.
Christopher
Nell.
McDonald and
my
Christina
God.
Applegate are the doctors that come to watch him.
I hate this movie. But it probably would have done really well back then. That's what's so sad.
I mean, technically, it kind of was like a Nell figure.
Aww.
when you think about it, the way he talked back in the day.
Oh,
Stop wheezing the juice.
Wheezing the juice.
What?
No one understands what you're saying.
All right,
Polly.
listen. All right, Judge, I'll interpret.
When he says wheezing the juice,
He's talking about his drink that you've taken a drink of, and he would like you to give it back so he can finish drinking it.
That's right.
So he's asking you to please stop wheezing the juice.
I'm sad for you, Sean. Because you had to say all of that.
Was my audition. I was like,
For the,
for the Liam Neeson role in the Pauly Shore version of this movie.
that's fair. It was awful, but that's fair. That's fair.
I was very good, and that's the point.
I'm sorry for you.
Ali Sheedy turned down the role of Nell.
Now, actually, there's somebody who I think would have done a fantastic job. I think it was more made for Jodie to do, but Ali Sheedy's fantastic, so that
I imagine,
actually
like,
wouldn't be bad.
when she wasn't thinking of starring in it, she would probably consider, like, someone like Ali Sheedy to be
Right.
the character.
Well, yeah, and then it wasn't that long after that Ali did High Art, which is such a great fucking movie. So, yeah, I mean, that would have kind of taken kind of Ali out of that whole Brat Pack thing, I think, a little bit sooner, but at the same time, it just wasn't meant to be. I think this movie was cast correctly. I think that these were the right people that were supposed to be in it, even if Liam Neeson, as hot as he is, was really creepy in this movie. For me.
The script needed a few more passes, I think.
I agree.
And they needed to figure out something to build that bond between Jerry and Nell earlier in the movie to make it make sense and not be just weird.
When you said Jerry and Nell, I immediately pictured Jerry Seinfeld.
So I was thinking of Jerry from Parks and Rec.
Oh, Jerry! That Jerry would be great. Oh, he'd be so sweet to know. Be like his granddad. Her granddad. It'd be kind of stupid, but that's okay. We love Jerry for that. Oh, Jerry.
I do want to talk about how, like, I do like the idea that compassion and, like, care for another person is just an innate, instinctual thing. Mm-hmm. Like, she just developed that because she's just, that's just innate in human beings, that you see somebody else who's in distress and you give your heart out to them. And that's what that scene between her and the sheriff's wife was like, as much as, like, we don't understand that scene, like, we know that the sheriff's wife is deeply troubled. Like, she's got some sort of, I thought she maybe had a head injury or something.
Well, that's
the mean read of it, but she was probably just severely depressed or something. It's either that or she was mentally, like, handicapped and she's married to this much older man, which makes it just that much creepier. But
that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other movie I don't want to watch. Mm-hmm. He seemed like a very nice guy. I really loved his wife.
Right.
And that's why I think that she was just suffering from, like, a severe depression. And when Nell sees her for the first time and she can sense, like, the sort of innocent soul that she is, she's just very, very sad. And Nell mimics her as a way of connecting with her the same way she would do with, like, anybody else. So kind of to understand her, she sort of mimics her. And that's why when they do meet fully, like, they have a deep emotional connection right away.
I just took your drink. I'm like, why does it taste weird?
Oh.
What
are you doing, dude? Pull yourself together. Stop wheezing the juice.
Oh my god. I feel like I'm gonna have diarrhea hearing that. Make it stop. Make it stop. I don't have COVID or anything, but I'm really sorry that I put my tongue all over your straw.
Would you like a new straw?
I didn't tongue your straw. I literally just barely even sucked.
I don't care. I've had kids just grab my drink.
Yeah, same.
And I'm just like, whatever. I don't really care, kid.
I've had, like, 2-year-olds do that to my drink, and I'm sorry, it's so cute. It's just like, you're adorable.
So cute. Like,
you just drank a little bit of vodka, though, so maybe don't do that.
Just so glad I don't have kids. Just every story I hear about kids just makes me happy I never had any. It's beautiful. Amy.
Yeah.
What's the next movie?
Oh, I don't have the list.
I sent it to you.
I know, but it didn't come up in my email, though. I've checked it. Did you send it today?
I sent it to you the moment I gave it to, like, the moment I told you about it, I sent it to you.
I'm looking right here. And, I've got an email from Padma Lakshmi,
Why are you getting emails from Padma?
She's talking about from tacos to color television. I don't know. I don't know. And I got something from Pair Eyewear.
Oh.
I don't have anything from Skernan.
Skirnay.
Not a thing. So you might have to resend that to my email.
Amy's already ruined the show. I put her in charge, and she's already... It took a week. It took less than a week for Amy to ruin the show.
Why? But why is it always me ruining the show? Like, why? I feel like you take that too far. Hang on, just give me a moment here, because I can do something here. Talk amongst yourselves.
MJ, final thoughts on Nell?
Well, what you had said before about like her taking care, or Nell taking care of people, that gave me an idea for what could have been the thing that brought them together. Like, he gets hurt in the woods at night, and she takes him back to her place to fix him, like a wounded animal. That I've seen that trope in a couple shows, and that could have been a reasonable thing to be like, she's a really sweet person. Okay, I'm gonna fight for her to stay here because she helped me when I was when I got hurt. Like,
That is a good trope, and that would have made a lot more sense. It would have bonded them in a way that makes sense and make him protective of her in a way that makes sense.
yeah.
I like that.
That's a solid rewrite.
All right, I got our movie. It's House Guest.
Oh, fuck.
This is gonna be a fun year. This is
It's gonna be a very fun year.
You just making him know.
Well, it was that or Safe Passage. What do you want? It's gonna be House Guest.
It's Sinbad or Susan Sarandon. Which one do you want?
That's which one do you want? Do you want serious or do you want this may be offensive? Because it's always gonna be this may be offensive.
So, yeah.
And Phil Hartman has a little bit of it.
Oh,
So
Phil Hart.
we love you, Phil Hartman. So there it is. House Guest next week. Pay attention.
Amy, social media, anything? You still on the tree?
Still on the tree. But I can tell you right now that our last, our disclosure is up on YouTube, on our YouTubes now, for sure. And then, was there another one that was just up? No. Oh, but Fuzzy, fun fact, on our YouTube, which one has the highest views right now?
Oh, it was...
The Color of Night?
Yeah, The Color of Night, and it had like 14 or 15,000 views.
That's insane.
So
That is insane.
the key to podcast success is talking about Bruce Willis's dick.
I think we yeah.
Apparently.
And guess what? We
Don't know
might
how.
just talk about his dick in every one of these episodes.
This is something I should have told Bob and Jeff a long time ago because, we always talk about Kevin Bacon's dick on that show, and we've had no success.
Yeah. Turns out it's Bruce.
Wrong dick.
It was the wrong dick.
Yeah. Well,
We'll have to find, obviously, when this show goes up, we'll find out how well Jodie Foster's bush does.
that's true. That's true. I will say Bruce Willis's dick is one of the house guests in the next movie.
Oh, wow.
Well, maybe. Okay, bye.